UFC 284 is upon us, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness, this event is going to be absolute fantastic for a variety of reasons, but one of the main reasons why it's actually going to be absolutely sensational is the fact that it's actually the first UFC event in Australia, especially the first UFC pay-per-view event in Australia since 2019. Obviously, remember that card in 2019, the card Israel Adesanya fought Anderson Silva. Remember that? That card right there, honestly, absolutely incredible, top class, honestly, ladies and gentlemen, and it's upon us, and it's going to be main evented by the current undisputed UFC featherweight champion of the world, who's moving up to 155 pounds to challenge the current reigning, defending, and undisputed lightweight champion of the world, Islam Makhachev. So Alexander Volkanovski, current champion of the world at 145 pounds featherweight, is going up to 155 pounds to challenge Islam Makhachev, ladies and gentlemen. What are your thoughts in regard to this fight? Oh my goodness, what an exciting fight this is going to be. Oh my god, ladies and gentlemen. So I think the angle that a lot of people, at least the angle that reporters are taking in relation to this fight, on how it's gonna go, or like most people's predictions in relation to this fight, is based on the pure fact that Volkanovski is a smaller man in opposition to, or in relation to, Islam Makhachev, right? So most of the predictions in regard to this fight is based on that. So the idea that Makhachev is going to win easily because of the fact that Alexander Volkanovski is a lot smaller. But if you ask yourself this question, right, does size matter? Or at least in this context, does size matter? Ask yourself that question, does it matter? And I'm here to tell you that it doesn't matter at all. I believe that as many chances as Islam Makhachev has got in this fight against Volkanovski equally, if not greater, has chances of winning this fight against the 155-pound defending champion Islam Makhachev. I can give you different reasons why that is the case, to be honest, but obviously I can't make a point without really, without explaining my point. But you've got Volkanovski, a very small man. He's around 5. He's described as being 5'6" in the UFC, but he's probably a lot shorter than 5'6", probably about 5'4", right? And he was a former rugby player in Australia. And not only that, but there was a time where he weighed more than 200 pounds at 5'4", 5'6", honestly. And we all know that smaller men, shorter men, regardless of how you want to see it, tend to have a lower center of gravity. That is a fact. And statistically, it's also a fact that it's harder to take down shorter people than it is to take down a taller opponent, right? So Islam Makhachev is around 5'11", 5'10", 5'11", right? So he's about, 5 inches taller than Alexander Volkanovski. If he's trying to shoot for a double leg, how is he going to shoot on a man who's like so much more smaller than he is? That's going to be fundamentally borderline impossible. As I've told you that Volkanovski was a former rugby player, he's going to have a center of gravity that is going to make it easier for him to defend takedowns against Islam Makhachev. Now, I'm not saying Makhachev cannot take him down fundamentally. He can take down any man on this planet. But I'm telling you that this fight for Makhachev is going to be a little bit more complex than a lot of people would like to think. And I can tell you for a fact that a lot of people, including UFC fighters or former fighters or people who've just got a lot of knowledge in the fight game, most of their predictions is purely based on this idea of size. This notion that, just because Volkanovski is smaller, he just doesn't stand a chance. Well, not only grappling, let's take a look at the striking aspect of this fight. We all can agree that Islam Makhachev is fundamentally a devastating striker. He's got serious knockout power. He's knocked out a couple of people in the UFC, but what is recognized mostly is his wrestling, his grappling abilities, and his submission abilities. Right? That is what he's recognized from the most to be honest. But like, let's look at striking. Alexander Volkanovski. I'm talking about top class striker, and he's demonstrated his striking abilities not once, not twice, but 3 times against former featherweight champion Max Holloway, someone that people could consider as being one of the best strikers in the UFC. Alexander Volkanovski literally showed him how it's done. And then not only that, he completely demolished the Korean zombie Chang Sung-jung, and his fight against Brian Ortega really showed what a warrior he is, to be honest. Now, I'm not taking any sides going into this fight because I can obviously point out instances where I believe that Islam Makhachev has the advantage. The fact that he's bigger, he's got a longer reach, he's physically stronger than Alexander Volkanovski, and he could possibly use his size, to take advantage and get a victory. To be honest, I'm not discounting that. I'm just trying to say that this fight is not going to be as easy for Makhachev as a lot of people might think, purely based on size, to be honest. And I think that as much opportunities or chances Makhachev has in winning this fight, Volkanovski has an equally, or if not greater, chance of actually winning that fight. And his height, the fact that he's smaller could actually work for him rather than against him, to be honest, going into this fight. As I've mentioned, a smaller center of gravity and all these different things. And on top of that, Alexander Volkanovski is actually training with world-class jiu-jitsu champion in Craig Jones, who's like a legendary submission artist when it comes to leg locks and all of that. And the fact that he's training with this guy, to be honest, will be instrumental, because we all know these fighters who do like these sort of like jiu-jitsu competitions and all of that, their leg lock submissions are on point, incredible. And now I'm not saying that he could submit. I believe he could submit Makhachev. Anything's possible. I mean, we've seen Jiri Prochazka submit Glover Teixeira. So if he could do it, I'm pretty sure Makhachev could be submitted. He's human. So, he's working on his leg locks and he's working on his ability to scramble and get back up. And we've seen this many, many times with Volkanovski. His fight against T-City is a perfect exemplification of that. His ability to be able to get back up, whilst T-City had him in multiple submissions, had him on a triangle choke, had him on a guillotine, transition to an armbar. It was absolutely crazy. And Volkanovski still managed to slip out against T-City. And the longer the fight goes, the more it favors Alexander Volkanovski, ladies and gentlemen. So yes, fundamentally, I believe going into this fight, the size does not matter whatsoever. Though definitely I believe that Islam Makhachev is the favorite and is rightfully the favorite going to this fight. But definitely I also believe that Alexander Volkanovski has immeasurable opportunities in actually winning that fight. And one of the aspects to why he could actually win this fight is his height. Something that a lot of people see as being a disadvantage, I actually see as being an advantage for him going into this fight, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you watching. Obviously, make sure to smash the like button down below, comment, and subscribe if your notification bell's turned on. And until next time, peace.